This is CBC Here and Now.
Well, the excitement of the Brier continues, but Team Gushue suffered a big loss today, one that could put their playoff hopes in jeopardy. Can they turn it around for tonight's game? That story coming up.
Good evening, I'm Carolyn Stokes.
And I'm Peter Cowan. Here's what else is making news tonight.
Remains identified. A man found dead in a St. John's gravel pit was accused of recent home invasions.
We're down to death story in the bank account.
Fish NL asks harvesters to pay up or it could go under. A whale of a tale from the waters off Newfoundland to the Royal Ontario Museum will take you live.
Well, police have confirmed the body found last Friday in a gravel pit near St. John's is that of Mohammed Salim. Salim was accused in a recent string of violent home invasions on the Northeast Avalon. Tonight on CBC Investigates, we have new details about his past. 4 years ago, Toronto police accused Salim of having links to a notorious gang, the Dixon City Bloods. Here Now's Ariana Kelland has the details.
Project Traveler 2013. Toronto police make dozens of arrests targeting the Dixon City Bloods, a street gang.
Where members have been responsible and involved in shootings, robberies, possession and trafficking of drugs and firearms.
Police seized cash and guns. A gang member was later revealed to have shot the notorious video of then Toronto Mayor Rob Ford smoking crack.
Today we've arrested 19 people in Toronto, 9 in Windsor. 43 to date have been arrested from this investigation.
Among those caught up in the Project Traveler sweep was this man, Mohammed Salim. Police accused Salim of being part of the Dixon Bloods. He was charged with trafficking cocaine and marijuana. All those charges were withdrawn in 2014. Flash forward to February of this year. Police respond to a violent home invasion in Paradise. 4 men were arrested. Salim was reported missing 2 days later. He was last seen the day of the home invasion nearby. Crews searched for him by ground, air, and in the water with no luck. Last week, police charged Salim for his alleged involvement in a series of home invasions and a break-and-enter, along with those 4 other men already in custody. His co-accused, Abdifada Mohammed, is also from Ontario. The other 3 men are from Newfoundland. All have criminal records. Mitchell Nippard served federal time for a violent home invasion in Alberta that involved a handgun, a crowbar, and a kitchen knife. Gary Hennessy has a long criminal history and was wanted by police last year. Tyler Donahue has past convictions for drug and weapons charges. He is on a lifetime firearms ban. And Abdifada Mohammed was convicted of manslaughter in a Toronto jailhouse beating of a fellow inmate. It's not clear how the 2 men from Toronto ended up in Newfoundland or what connection they may have with their co-accused who are from here. Now, as we mentioned late today, the RNC confirmed that the body found off the Trans-Canada Highway is that of Mohammed Salim. The body was found near the boundary of CBS and St. John's. His death is not considered to be suspicious, according to the chief medical examiner. Peter?
Well, imagine being faced with this scenario. You get a phone call saying someone is in your house, and not just in your house, but living in your house. Well, that's what happened to one man, and he told Here and Now's Glenn Payette what happened.
This nice little house in Paradise is the scene of an alleged crime and a bizarre tale. Regina Casper-Coltis is at the center of this tale. She's accused of breaking into the house in August of 2015. It's owned by Barry McCarthy.
End up coming from Bullarn from work, and here's a lady staying in my house, sleeping in my bed. You know, you don't hear tell that stuff in the movies.
McCarthy says he doesn't know how long Casper-Coltis was in the house. She used to live there, but it was sold when her marriage broke up.
The lady thinks she owns the house.
McCarthy says that before the break-in, Casper-Coltis would come by and put flowers on the front step and rearrange the lawn furniture. He says she somehow convinced a locksmith to let her in, and when she did, she didn't come alone.
She had 11 dogs with her, staying in my basement.
What kind of dogs?
Little chihuahuas or something, I don't really know what they were.
likely Chihuahuas. She was a breeder. How did you learn that she was in there?
A buddy of mine stopped in there and realised that someone was in there saying shh, and the dogs were barking. So he contacted me, and I was in Bull Arm, and I said, I got no woman there, and I got no dogs. Get back down there. So I phoned my missus, and I told her that call the police. So I left Bull Arm, and I come on in, and the police was there, and they had her at it before I got in.
McCarthy says that after he bought the house and Casper Coltis started showing up, he wouldn't let his wife and daughter be there. He was concerned for their safety.
Not a good feeling, knowing that someone's in your house.
Casper Coltis is also charged with attempting to break into the house a second time. Today, her lawyer, John Noonan, raised concerns about her mental health. Casper Coltis has been ordered to undergo a psychiatric assessment tomorrow morning. The court will then decide how to proceed. Glenn Payette, CBC News, Paradise.
Well, it's crunch time for the Federation of Independent Sea Harvesters. The group, known as Fish NL, held a news conference today to announce it's close to financial collapse, and it's calling on seafood harvesters to open their wallets. Here and Now's Andrew Sampson has that story.
It's coming down to the wire for Fish NL. The group has been waging a month-long grassroots campaign to unseat the powerful FFAW as the union representing the inshore harvesters in this province. But now, Vice President Richard Gillette says the group is running out of money to fight a costly battle for union certification.
We're down to death's door in the bank account. We got litigation coming up again on Friday. We just had litigation a week and a half ago.
The group launched a fundraising blitz today. Fish NL is calling on crew members and harvesters to contribute anywhere from $50 to $150 at a minimum. The FFAW says they're not surprised by this desperate appeal.
Well, I think Ryan Cleary and Fish NL have demonstrated incompetency from the beginning. They actually initiated this process, so they should be well aware of what was involved, the due diligence required by the board. So, I mean, they're ill-prepared in this.
Fish NL leaders disagree. They say the FFAW has been trying to crush their group since the beginning, and that legal fees might grow to top $100,000 as the certification process continues before the Labor Board. Fish NL will go before the board on Friday, arguing for the release of the FFAW's membership list. As for how long they'll last without running out of money, Fish NL says that it could be within weeks. Andrew Sampson, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, at the Dunphy inquiry today, a member of Ontario's Special Investigations Unit who reviewed the RCMP's investigation of Don Dunphy's death testified that he found serious deficiencies in how the case was handled. Gareth Jones has been involved in hundreds of investigations of police officers who were involved in a death or serious injury. He pointed out many flaws in how the RCMP investigated Constable Joe Smythe after he shot and killed Don Dunphy in 2015. Jones told the inquiry that he found a fundamental problem with impartiality and that police were too quick to believe Smythe's version of events.
The investigators perhaps jumped to a conclusion as to whether this had been a, quote, clean shoot, unquote, or not. And by clean shoot, that's police parlance for, at least in Ontario, for a shooting that's legally justified. From what I saw, based on the evidence that I saw, they very early on in the investigation appeared to have reached that conclusion, and that, to some degree, had a detrimental effect on the remainder of the investigation.
To Labrador now, where 28 people have been charged in connection with last fall's protests at the Muskrat Falls site. The protesters demanded that Nalcor agree to clear all vegetation and topsoil at the Muskrat Falls reservoir before the area was flooded. At one point, the company did stop work at the construction site. Today, police confirmed that a total of 60 charges had been laid against 18 men and 10 women. The charges include mischief, breaches of a court order, and taking a motor vehicle without consent. The people charged are from a handful of communities in Labrador. They'll be in court in April.
Well, it's been nearly a decade since the Cameron inquiry began, and government moved today to finish what it started. New legislation will strengthen patients' rights to information and strengthen future inquiries. Here now's Ryan Cook has more.
It's been 8 years since Margaret Cameron made stern recommendations to healthcare providers in this province. 8 years is also the same amount of time one woman waited to find out her tests were flawed. Tests that resulted in one of her breasts being removed. Today, Health Minister John Haggie introduced legislation to ensure that never happens again.
So it puts the onus very much on the health authority to go and proactively find patients and their families rather than leaving them in the dark or in ignorance.
The Patient Safety Act requires regional health authorities to keep patients up to date with information when something goes wrong. It also takes steps to ensure a public inquiry would have unfettered access to information on quality control. Opposition health critics say they support the bill, but would like to see it go further.
There's not going to be a public database that the public can go and find the information themselves. You can do that in Nova Scotia, for example. So what's going to happen is if I want information, it will be in a database, but I'll have to ATIP it. And I think that should be in the public domain, and that's, to me, is the weakness of a major weakness of the legislation.
With the new legislation, government says 58 of the 60 Cameron recommendations are complete or nearing completion. For Here and Now in St. John's, I'm Ryan Cook.
We showed you the dramatic footage of Sunday's sea rescue last night, and today we're learning more about what goes into a search and rescue at sea. The crew from 103 Search and Rescue Squadron spoke to Here and Now's Chris Ensing, and Chris is joining us now live from Gander. So Chris, what did they have to say?
Well, they said it was a total team effort in some difficult conditions. One of the crew members said that the water that was swelling, those waves, were the size of apartment buildings. And he said for a moment, he was worried they may not have been able to save all 5 fishermen during the same flight. You can take a look at the footage that they've released from inside of the helicopter, and you can see what they were dealing with. Again, all 5 men on board that boat were saved, no injuries to report. Now, there were also 5 people on board the helicopter that rescued them, and here's how 3 of them described the mission.
I received the call at 3:55 a.m. Directly from the Joint Rescue Coordination Center in Halifax. When we arrived on scene, the weather was actually fairly clear. The waves, however, were the biggest determining factor. They were 7 to 8 meter waves for a 60-foot vessel.
The first one in the scene is Sergeant Damien Robeson. When the cable goes back and bounces off the sponson, kind of disappears out of the shot for a while. It's stressful. We train a lot, and we do this a lot, not necessarily in these weather conditions, but you know, it's stressful. That's my partner that's down there, and you know, I'm worried for his safety. And basically, you know, if something happens to him, then it's up to me to get down there and get him, right?
When I came in after that first guy, I had to hand off to the team member to go down, and like I was wondering if we were going to have enough time on scene, if we were going to have enough energy, and to be able to get all 5. So finally, when I went down and got the last, the skipper out of the water, and we got inside and the door shuts, to know that we have all 5 on board safe, and that all 5 of our crew is safe, you can't put that in words.
Now, a hard Sunday night doesn't mean Monday is easy. Some of the crew members on that rescue mission were actually sent out for a medevac yesterday, so the job just does not stop. Now, those 3 members, part of a 5-man or 5-person crew, I should say, on that helicopter, but they all said that this is a team effort. There are dozens of people that work at the 103 Search and Rescue Squadron here in Gander, and they said if it weren't for the professional attitude of everyone there at the site, they wouldn't be able to help people from the air. Now, you'll be able to hear more about that rescue mission later on in the show. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Chris Ensing in Gander.
Well, the path to the Brier playoffs got a lot harder for Team Gushue today. They suffered an upset loss to the team from Northwest Territories, and there's precious little time to regroup. Team Gushue is back on the ice tonight against one of the toughest teams in the tournament. And Here and Now, Zach Audi is live at Mile 1 Center tonight. So, Zach, what happened during tonight's game?
Well, there's no other way to say it. The team just not play well. This was a game the team Gushue was heavily favored to win, but by the end, it had all gone wrong. Just listen to the crowd react as Brad Gushue threw his last rock. Now that sound just says it all. Team Gushue wound up losing the game by a score of 8-4. Now the lopsided score is deceiving. This was a close game. Team Northwest Territories is skipped by Jamie Cooey, brother of Kevin Cooey, the reigning Brier champ. So they're no pushovers, but they also entered today's game dead last in the Brier standings, and beating these bottom-tier teams is a must for any team that wants to make the playoffs. Now Team Gushue entered the 10th end today with the hammer and trailing by a single point. That's a scenario that Gushue should be able to convert into a win, or at least push the game to extra ends. Instead, Gushue gave up a steal of 3 points and was handed his second loss of the tournament. A bad spot to be in so early in the week, and it doesn't get easier. Tonight, Team Gushue is back on the ice and facing the reigning Olympic champions, Brad Jacobs and Team Northern Ontario. After today's game, I spoke with Brad Gushue about what went wrong today and where the team goes from here. Brad, tough loss. Tell us how you're feeling.
Disappointed. I think we're just disappointed in how we played. I didn't think we played anywhere near our capabilities today. We left a lot of opportunities out there and just didn't put any pressure on Jamie. They played well, but we didn't force them into anything tough.
Was there one moment when it slipped away, or was it a series of events that that just kind of didn't go the way you'd prefer?
Yeah, it was basically every end I felt we were chasing, except for maybe the exception was 8. But every other end I felt like we were behind right from the get-go and just couldn't put any pressure on them. And their team played well. You have to give them credit, but we were nowhere near where we're capable of playing. So we got to figure that out because we got a big game tonight.
How do you reframe for the big match against the team tonight, and again going forward for the rest of the tournament?
I'm not sure. The good thing is we got a few hours to figure it out. But we got to find a way to be a little bit more sharp, maybe get a little bit more edge, and maybe come out angry tonight. I'm not sure what the answer is, but we're going to figure it out. We'll be different tonight, and hopefully different in a good way.
So what does this mean for Team Gushue's playoff chances? Well, only the top 4 teams in this field of 12 will make the playoff round. Currently, Team Gushue is sitting in 4th place. To hang on to that position, they can ill afford another loss, and 2 of the toughest opponents of the tournament in Brad Jacobs and Kevin Cooey are still to come. Reporting live from the Brier, I'm Zach Gowdy for Here and Now.
From the beach at Trout River to the Assembly Room in Toronto, we'll go live to the Royal Ontario Museum. That's coming up. Welcome back to Here and Now. It was an enormous tragedy for an already tiny population of blue whales, but the deaths of these magnificent mammals off Newfoundland's southwest coast in 2014 turned into a boon for the Royal Ontario Museum. 9 whales died after becoming trapped in sea ice, and now 2 skeletons of these massive creatures are being rebuilt in Ontario. Here Now's Jeremy Eaton started covering this story in 2014, and he's live now in Ontario from the Royal Ontario Museum tonight, where this blue whale exhibit is soon going to be unveiled. Jeremy?
This is it, Peter. This is the skeleton of the largest animal on the planet, now on display here at the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto. And in case you've forgotten, here's how it got here. It's a story that's almost as large as the whales it's about. One that started in February of 2014 when the Department of Fisheries and Oceans found at least 9 blue whales dead, stuck in thick sea ice off the southwestern coast of Newfoundland. Only 250 blue whales are estimated to live in the western North Atlantic Ocean, meaning these whales make up about 4% of the entire population.
It's horrible, and it's so disappointing for us because the department is working hard to develop a recovery plan for the species, and we're trying to monitor man-made threats like seismic or vessel strikes and that kind of thing, and then to have a natural event like this happen that you really have no control over it, it's pretty shocking. There's not much we can do. It'd be very sad.
By April of 2014, 2 of the massive mammals rolled ashore, this one in Rocky Harbour, the other in the community of Trout River. Filling with gases as it decomposed, this bloating, floating dead blue whale became an unwelcome tourist attraction. The whale captured worldwide attention and even inspired a Saturday Night Live skit. Many wondered if it would explode. Spoiler alert, it didn't. In May, a crew from the Royal Ontario Museum agreed to take control of both blue whales. The plan was to flens it, clean it to the bones. Sawing, hacking, and chopping away blubber, a team of 12 slayed the giant whale in the community of Woody Point.
No, just everything's really big. But that wasn't a surprise. I knew it was going to be very big. But everything's just scaled up from anything we've done before.
Certainly not an easy process, cutting and throwing away tons upon tons of flesh. Knee-deep in whale guts, crews battled the body of the world's biggest animal.
Yeah, it is getting tiring because the blubber strips are quite heavy, and the tendons are very fibrous and thick, so it really takes the edge off the knife really quick.
If you think it looks gross, try taking a deep breath.
It smells like dead whale. I don't know if there's anything else that really smells exactly like dead whale.
Now, the hardest part about all of this, from my perspective, has been dealing with the smell. Now, the guys behind me gave me a little tip. Use some vaporizing cold rub and put that directly underneath your nose. While it doesn't make it perfect, it makes it tolerable. Fast forward a week. The team had the bones cleaned, labeled with poker chips to keep track of them, and packed in the back of a trailer to be shipped to Ontario. Along the way, scientists gathered tissue samples for study. It also claimed the heart from the whale in Rocky Harbour. It's currently in Germany undergoing a process to be preserved. By October of 2014, the bones were buried in manure in specialized containers in Trenton, Ontario. Here, the 2 blue whales sat for nearly 2 years before coming out. Crews removed the bones, drained some of the oil, and then degreased them. Then packaged them up for display. On March 11th, the Royal Ontario Museum will open up its Out of the Depths, the Blue Whale Story exhibit. So as you just heard, this display doesn't open to the public until March 11th, but the media is getting a special tour tomorrow, so we'll give you a first-hand look at the skeleton of this massive whale that washed up there in Trout River. So tune in tomorrow night for that. And reporting live from the Royal Ontario Museum in Toronto, I'm Jeremy Eaton for Here and Now.
And Jeremy's not the only one from Here and Now who's in Toronto tonight.
That's right. Ryan Snoddon and Debbie Cooper are there as well. They're attending the Canadian Screen Awards.
Yes, as we mentioned back in January, Here and Now is nominated for Best Local Newscast.
Yes, and Ryan, Debbie, and Jonathan Crow are all up for best local news anchors in the country.
Yes, and the entire local CBC News team is up for Best News Special for the July 1st Beaumont Hamel 100th anniversary broadcast. That was 5 hours of local television produced right here, which of course aired on July 1st in 2016.
And while it's always good to be recognized by our peers, the best pat on the back that we can get at Here and Now comes from the viewers. So thank you so much for tuning in.
Absolutely. So as we just mentioned, Ryan is in Toronto for the awards ceremony.
Yeah, so that means Colette Kennedy joins us now with a look at the weather forecast. Colette?
Well, through the day today, we almost saw things kind of bookended in terms of the weather. In the east, some light snow to start the day off. Through St. John's, we saw that. Over towards the west, into western Labrador, a little bit of light snow, Labrador City to start the day off. But in between, for the most part, under the influence of that sinking stable air, and so it meant quite a bit of sunshine. And in fact, Happy Valley Goose Bay, beautiful sky conditions through the day today with all of that sunshine. Now, in terms of what it did with the temperature, having a look at our highs, -1 there for the high, not quite getting up to the freezing mark. Churchill Falls -4, Labrador City seeing the same thing. Getting in towards central Newfoundland, seeing the temperature a little bit above freezing there. Towards Deer Lake, up to 1 degree in St. John's, -1 in terms of the high for the day. Well, there's that ridge of high pressure. It's actually anchored a little bit further to the south, but under the influence all the way stretching up towards northern Labrador. However, what's to come, I just want to pull out here for a moment, and then we'll go back in for that closer perspective and walk you through how things are going to play out. But look at this storm system back here to the west. Area of low pressure, the white lines here are isobars. When we see them close together like that, it means we have tight pressure gradient, so we get into some windy conditions. Counterclockwise circulation around that low. It's pulling up some of the moisture from the coastline, and that's what's going to be moving in. So now we take it in for that closer look, and you're going to see, first of all, starting off out ahead of the warm front as some snowfall, then getting into some mixed precipitation, that pushing in. This is going late tonight into tomorrow morning. We'll see that out ahead of it. Clouds will be on the increase, but still that ridge of high pressure to start the day off. So actually, for eastern parts of Newfoundland, for the island, even central areas, a lot of sunshine, and then getting into some increase in cloudiness, okay, as the day wears on. Happy Valley Goose Bay, seeing the clouds increasing and then the precipitation coming in. Once those winds change direction and we get a little bit of that warmth moving in, then you're talking about more of a rainfall event, and certainly that'll be more the case. It might start off a bit of a mix for you towards Port aux Basques, and then coming in as the temperature rises and turning over to rain. As we keep taking this through the day, by tomorrow later afternoon into the evening hours, we see that rain overtaking the Avalon. And yeah, that snow spreading across Labrador as well. So conditions for tonight, have a look, -12 for Labrador City with the snow moving in, but you'll notice just about everywhere else maybe seeing a bit of increase in cloud. And certainly a cool night because there's not that blanket of cloud for insulation elsewhere. So that ridge of high pressure, again, making it cool other than where you're going to see that snow moving in. Tomorrow then 0 for Labrador City. That's what you're looking at. That southeasterly flow kicking in, and as it does, we've got mixed precipitation to start off for Corner Brook, Port aux Basques, as I was mentioning, and then increase in clouds is what we're going to see as we stretch a little bit further towards the east. But all in all, quite a nice day, actually, into eastern Newfoundland. Now, we'll talk about the accumulations. How much of the snow are we going to see? And that'll be just a little bit later in the show.
Well, they're steady and have nerves of steel, and on Sunday night they saved the lives of 5 fishermen. The team behind this dramatic rescue at sea is next on Here and Now. Well, back now to one of our top stories. For the record, here are some of the SAR techs who rescued 5 sealers this past weekend.
I received the call at 3:55 a.m. Directly from the Joint Rescue Coordination Center in Halifax. When we arrived on scene, the weather was actually fairly clear. The waves, however, were the biggest determining factor. They were 7 to 8 meter waves for a 60-foot vessel. First off, we want to protect the safety of the crew on board our aircraft and on the boat as well. We don't want to cause any undue harm or any unnecessary harm. They're already in distress. They already need our help, and we want to make sure that we do it the safest way possible. We have to have complete faith that everyone is doing what they intend to do. We all train for this together. We all know how to work as a team, and we're gonna do the best that we can.
We're looking at the boat, doing a recce of the boat, and there's a bunch of overhead obstacles like masts and booms, cables that are hazards to us, and they're basically a hazard that we could get tangled in or get hit by, and also our patients could get hit by them on the way out. So because this boat was going off angle, I'll say maybe up to 60 degrees either way, it wasn't able to maintain a heading. It was just too risky for us to insert and also for us to hoist them out. The first one in the scene is Sergeant Damien Robeson. When the cable goes back and bounces off the sponson, kind of disappears out of the shot for a while. It's stressful. We train a lot, and we do this a lot, not necessarily in these weather conditions, but it's stressful. That's my partner that's down there, and I'm worried for his safety. And basically, if something happens to him, then it's up to me to get down there and get him, right?
I went down first, and we were trying to get in close to where the guy was in the water. They're trying to move me in, but these 40-foot rollers would go through, and it's like an apartment building going by you. And the hoist can't keep up with that rate. So there are times when they couldn't peel me in or keep me above the wave, and I would get smashed by the wave, and then the cable would go taut, and I'd come flying out of it, all while trying to get close to the man that's in the water. You will lose sight of him. I was down there with the rollers. I was losing sight of the fishing boat. I was constantly trying to orientate myself towards him and keep my eye on. And then whenever I saw him, I'd point for the FE. And then I know my relation to the aircraft and how we're approaching. So I kind of use that as a bearing, and knowing that he's always going to be either off my back left shoulder in that case, as I was kind of approaching backwards most of the time. I knew once I was in contact, the flight engineer would pay out lots of cable, and I'd be able to stay on scene with him however long, just to get the rescue call around him. And then as long as I had a grip on him, then they'd be able to maneuver and then pull us out of the water. It was getting to him really was the issue. When I came in after that first guy, I had to hand off to the team member to go down. And I was wondering if we were gonna have enough time on scene, if we were gonna have enough energy and to safely be able to get all 5. So finally, when I went down and got the skipper out of the water, and we got inside and the door shuts, to know that we have all 5 on board safe, and that all 5 of our crew is safe, you can't put that in words. Monday morning, went right back out, did another mission that took essentially all day and then through the night. And then you're back home, and everyone's safe again, you're fit, you didn't get hurt, and you're ready to rest up and go for the mill one. Lives are on the line. And right from maintenance right through to admin staff, it is a team effort from the squadron and the wing wide to be able to keep such a complicated, expensive aircraft in the air with 5 people on board, and then to be able to go and do a rescue where 5 more people come on board, and you're coming back safely through really nasty weather, and you land safely, everything's working, and if when they release the aircraft to you, it's ready to go, and you have full confidence in the system right from the ground up and from the top down.
Well, as we inch closer to spring, many of us are asking, why is there still so much snow around? Here now's Colleen Connors finds some answers for us, coming up next. Well, technically, spring is only 13 days away, but when you see the snowbanks on the province's west coast, well, it feels like it's a whole lot farther off. Here Now's Colleen Connors is on a quest to find out how much longer she'll have to endure this shoveling season. Take a look.
Listen, I know it's a really sunny day today, but I'm getting really sick of having to clean off the car and do all this shoveling. The west coast of the province got dumped on with snow again this week, and let's just say that all this clearing off the snow, well, it's becoming very inconvenient. I wanted to know how much longer I was going to have to do this winter, so I contacted a local weather expert here in Corner Brook, Kyle Brookings, and he says it's going to warm up soon and we may not have to do this for much longer.
It's probably going to be a mess, but I think as we get into the second half of March, we'll see a gradual, slow transition into more spring-like weather.
A gradual, slow transition to spring? I think that's code for more shoveling. Look at this giant snowbank. The snow is so high, you can barely see the houses. Brookings says this is normal.
What we're seeing right now, it's a typical West Coast winter. It's not like the winter we saw last year where we didn't get that much snow. This seems like a typical Corner Brook winter. It's cold and it's snowy, and it's really been, believe it or not, it's actually been an average winter.
I know this is an average sight in March, but the sight of snowbanks still shocks me. If you're lucky, you're spending your winter days here, enjoying the snow.
It could be a lot worse, believe it or not.
Get the skiing in now, because warmer, rainy days are in our future.
It's going to be bad news for the snow enthusiasts, but I think after all the storms we've seen this year, any sign of spring will be a welcome sight.
If you are one of many that are faced with giant snowbanks like this one, Brookings says hang in there. By the 20th, we should see warmer temperatures that will start to melt these giant banks down a little bit. You never know. We may see some grass by June. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
Well, people on the northern peninsula and southern Labrador have certainly felt the brunt of this weather.
Yeah, it's led to some pretty spectacular photos, actually. Just have a look at these.
Well, yeah, this is what 80 centimeters of snow looks like in Cartwright.
Yeah, pretty much swallowed up some of the houses there.
And that creates problems when you have to try and open your door like this person did.
Yeah, we didn't hear how he got out in the end, but all over town people had that same problem.
Absolutely. And there's another example of unable to get to the front door. And down the coast in Williams Harbor, Patsy Suley had a huge drift in front of her house.
Yeah, it took a lot of work to dig her way out of that one for sure.
Yeah, and it was a similar situation on the northern peninsula. Carolyn, see if you can spot the car in this picture.
I think I can see the front of it there. With all the winds, you can see some of the drifts reached almost to the tops of houses in Goose Cove.
And here's what it took in order to get the main road in Griquet open. This drift had completely covered the road.
Yeah, loaders had to cut away at the drift in order to get the road open again.
Yeah, and when it did get open, well, it was only a narrow pass, almost like driving through a canyon.
Wow.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone Hearing Service St. John's, helping the world hear better.
A lot of sore backs, I'd say, on the northern peninsula and up in Labrador.
Absolutely, yeah. No, not anything you want to shovel. And I guess it's a good time to check in again with meteorologist Colette Kennedy to find out how that long-term forecast is looking, because she did hint that it looks like there's some snow in the way.
Well, as I was saying earlier, you know, most of Newfoundland and Labrador, under the influence of that ridge of high pressure with pleasant sky conditions, although in a couple of cases, yes, starting off with light snow through the day, but getting into the sunshine. But guess what's on the doorstep? You see it right here, leading edge of this next system coming in as snowfall. Then there's some mixed precipitation, and then in many cases, it'll turn over to rainfall. Not everywhere. Out ahead of it, though, still looking at, with the clear skies, a cool night overnight, because we won't have that blanket of cloud cover. And starting off the day tomorrow, in many cases with quite a bit of sunshine. But let's put you through the future tracker, and you can kind of clock this hour by hour as we go through the evening hours and check out the winds as well. Because first to be affected there into western Labrador as this system approaches, we're actually going to see the snow beginning in the overnight hours. Now I've stopped this at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, waking up to sunshine for central and eastern Labrador. Across the island, mostly sunshine. You'll get a little bit of cloud cover there back towards Port aux Basques. And then starting off towards southwestern Newfoundland, as some mixed precipitation in there, snow rain mix, and then kind of seeing it turn over to more of a rainfall experience for you there, but mostly snowfall here as this continues to push forward through the day. But early in the day, really nice for eastern areas of Newfoundland. It's not till we get towards the evening hours, even into the later afternoon, you'll see the clouds will be on the increase, and then the precipitation starting in the later part of the day on Wednesday, and then carrying on into Thursday morning. And as the temperature falls back off overnight, could see a bit of a mix coming back towards the Avalon, Burin peninsulas. For Labrador, though, you're seeing this mostly as a snowfall event, and that's why I was sort of talking about this in terms of our accumulations. I want to show you what the breakdown is, but I also want to show you that by noon on Thursday, western Labrador clearing out and much of the island as well, getting rid of this particular system. So it's not a terribly slow-moving storm, and that kind of helps with the snowfall accumulations. But let me just point out, we're looking at 5 to 10 centimeters or so, Labrador City. Now, by Thursday, we're talking about 10 to 11 centimeters, Happy Valley, Goose Bay. But what I do want to mention is it won't quite be done. So as it pulls away, then you could see those numbers going up a little bit. Just something I want to caution you. It's going to depend on how swiftly we see this thing moving out there. So your 7-day trend for eastern Labrador, talking about that snow, as I said, moving in, then still having that chance of flurries. And after a milder day on Thursday, then the temperatures falling back off for you towards the weekend and the beginning of next week. For western Labrador, that snowfall as well coming through, and the flurries, and -17 into Sunday, and then kind of getting into a mix of sun and cloud towards the beginning of next week. St. John's, a bit of a warm up there into Thursday, and then the temperatures fall off for the weekend, and we'll see that for central and western Newfoundland as well. Those temperatures falling off after we get through the system. A couple of days of unsettled weather with some flurries. Nothing too significant after this one as we look through the next 7 days. Now it's time to have a look at our athlete of the day.
Yes, tonight we shine the spotlight on a young local athlete from Beta Verde. This is Paige Benoit.
The 5-year-old is a second-year pre-novice and joins her friends on the ice with the CB's minor hockey.
Yes, congratulations, Paige, on being chosen as our young athlete of the day.
Well, hear why an outside police investigator says the RCMP jumped to conclusions too early in its investigation of a fatal shooting by RMC Constable Joe Smythe. More from the Dunphy inquiry up next.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, back to the Dunphy inquiry. Earlier in the show, you heard an Ontario investigator say he thinks the RCMP were too quick to believe Constable Joe Smyth's account of his encounter with Don Dunphy. Gareth Jones testified there was a fundamental problem with impartiality, but that wasn't his only criticism of the local RCMP.
I think looking at the transcript of the first interview of Acting Sergeant Smyth on, I think it was April the 6th, around about 3:30 p.m., it was clear from the attitude of the interviewing officers that, at least in my view, they were extremely empathetic with Acting Sergeant Smyth. They said things like, to the effect of, "You saved your life," I seem to remember being one quote from there, which, the way I interpreted it, is a conclusion as to the justifiability of the shooting. And that happened less than 25 hours after the shooting occurred, way before sufficient evidence was in to allow the officers to reach any kind of conclusion. And it's unfortunate that that happened, because it gives the appearance of a lack of impartiality.
And in terms of, I take it you are categorizing that as a deficiency.
Yes.
Okay. And in terms of a deficiency, can you please give the Commissioner an indication of, the level of seriousness of that type of deficiency?
I think it's very serious. Investigators are supposed to keep an open mind as they conduct investigations. At the point when they have sufficient, relevant, reliable evidence to reach a conclusion, that's fair enough, you can reach a conclusion. But at this stage of an investigation, this early on, I don't see where the officers had sufficient evidence to appear, at least to me, to reach the conclusion that this was a clean shoot.
Just identify for the Commissioner if you found any deficiency in terms of the RCMP's investigation as a result of public communications.
I believe, based on my reading of the second RCMP press release, which I think was issued on April the 7th, that seriously prejudiced the investigation. I think there was a very significant amount of information that was released into the public domain that should not have been released at this stage of an investigation of this kind. It was far too early. There was far too much information. The press release, regurgitated is a harsh word, but it repeated what the officers had been told by Acting Sergeant Smyth and put it out there as gospel.
Sorry?
As gospel, or at least put it out there as an RCMP official press release. And it had been done prior to, the scene was still actually, I believe, in the possession of the RCMP at that time. Certainly not all of the evidence had been gathered. Certainly none of it had been forensically analysed. It was very unfortunate that this press release was issued with the amount of detail in it.
Okay. And you say that can, I think you said could seriously prejudice. Can you please explain for the Commissioner how could that have prejudiced the investigation?
You're putting a story out there with the imprimatur of the RCMP attached to it, the investigators attached to it, which basically sets out Acting Sergeant Smyth's story, that Mr. Dunphy picked up the gun, the barrel was coming towards him, this is why he fired. And that's just Acting Sergeant Smyth's side of the story. There were, and may well be at this stage in the investigation, other side of the stories, which have yet to be found. So to put this amount of information out there is, I believe, a very serious deficiency.
Oh my goodness, they're heavy. 42 pounds. Yep, 42 pounds, and I certainly found out how that felt. Olympic curler Jamie Korab gave me a one-on-one lesson. Coming up.
Yeah, there's certainly been a lot of Brier excitement this week.
Yeah, and in light of that, I asked Olympic gold medalist Jamie Korab to teach me a thing or two about curling, so he tried to show me how to throw some rocks.
All right, so you want to try to throw a rock?
I would like to try very much.
All right, well, let's see if we can make sure you don't fall here.
I'll try. Woo!
Good start. So your right foot goes in here.
Okay.
And your left foot should be in underneath you. So all your weight should be under this foot here.
Okay.
So like this.
Okay.
When you're about to kick out, this foot goes right in underneath your body.
Yeah.
Right in under, so that when you slide out, that's got all your balance. Give it a quick try, just a little push. Get your rocks moving a little first. Just get them moving, otherwise they're stuck.
Ooh,
and just give it a,
heavy.
they're 42 pounds.
42 pounds.
And then just give a little push and stretch out your back leg.
Okay.
There you go. Stretch out the back leg, stretch it out, stretch it out. Look at that, slid to the tee line first try.
That's really hard. So explain why you sweep.
Well, good question, because there's always sweeping going on and the skip's always shouting. So when the skip is usually shouting to sweep, there's two reasons. When you sweep, you're creating less friction on the ice. You're actually technically melting the ice and creating a watery film. Now, it's not like a hairdryer on the ice, but when you do that, the rock will travel a little farther because there's less friction, and it's not going to curl as much. So usually if the rock is light, meaning it's not going to get to where you want it to, you'll sweep to get more distance, or it's curling too much and the skip is screaming emphatically for you to sweep. You kind of hold a broom like a hockey stick. And the bottom of the rock is actually only about 6.5 inches wide, so there's a little ridge along here. So you only want to sweep in front of the rock. If you're doing this, you're wasting energy. So you want to get here and you kind of want to sweep as hard and as fast as you can. Pretty good, pretty, you don't want, now one thing you just did there, now in curling, that's called a burnt rock, which means you touched it. So if the rock was coming down in play and you were sweeping it and accidentally burn it, it comes out of play. When you're sweeping along, you're gonna be like this and you're gonna kind of, whatever feels comfortable, but just like a foot shuffle, but still remembering to sweep. Are you ready?
I guess so, yes.
All right, okay, let's go.
Okay.
All right, start sweeping, move, hurry hard, come on. Hard, don't touch the rock, keep going, keep going. Harder, Carlin, go, 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 go. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. That was good, well done.
I know. But I didn't crack a tooth, so I consider that a success.
So is Gushue going to be subbing you in tonight now that you've got your sweeping talents all down?
No, not if he wants to win, that's for sure. And we should mention that Gushue's next game is tonight at 8 o'clock, and he's playing against Northern Ontario, the Brad Jacobs team, and of course they won the Brier in 2013.
Yeah, they've been doing really well. So his record's now 3-2, and it looks like he can't afford to lose any more games in order to try and hold on. So we'll certainly be watching, and we'll be back again tomorrow night. Thanks so much for watching.
Good night, everyone.